I don't know how they can worship something made out of wood or cement, but they do. They make their own gods to worship. And to me, it's kind of a waste of time, but those people are serious, and they believe in their God just like we believe in ours. But they must have a. This is children in Africa. My first visit stop. Uh, more and more I see the kids in Africa, like the one standing beside me. Two of them back there. The older kids, I don't know where they're getting it at, but they don't smile as much anymore. And the people, I've noticed in Africa that people aren't there as friendly. You see more frowns. A little louder. Sounds great to me, but really loud. But I think Obama is doing a good job of getting it across to the world that Americans are bad, because I see more frowns where I go, and it's kind of you can notice those things the last 2 years. Like this boy here in the front, he just really, he doesn't care if I'm taking his picture or not. This is a couple of ministers on the front. I guess they're watching me. I didn't take any of these pictures, so that's one is I can't think of his name. He's an evangelist. John Emily is his name, and I took a projector over to him. This is where we went to baptize a lady. I've never baptized anyone before, but the people decided I needed to baptize someone. I told them I didn't really need to do this, but I helped them. But then I didn't do it right because they said I didn't leave her down long enough, so they had to re-baptize her. So we prayed for her after that. She really had a good testimony, they tell me, but I couldn't understand what her testimony was. But they really liked it. That's Brother Jerry there in the striped shirt. This is their music at this little town we was in. They had a 4-day crusade or revival, whatever. They didn't have a church there, and we did set a church there of about 30 people. So it was worthwhile. They don't have a building yet, but they want to fix one. This is the same revival. Jerry got sick with typhoid fever. He was really sick for a couple of weeks. I had malaria the first week I was there, but I got over it pretty quick. Whoops, what did I do there? A video. Okay. What? Okay. I don't know if this is praying for a woman or trying to bring the demon out of her. Started a little quick there. I think they're trying to shout that demon out of this lady. I told Jerry it's kind of silly, but they're just wasting their breath. But they've quit spinning them now. Now they're just shouting out of them. So I don't know if they'll ever get out of that. I don't know where it come from, but that's their way of getting a demon out of a person. Of course, some of these business people come to them and want a demon out, and so they can run their business better. And it's not really a demon, you know. It's just maybe they're bad business people. I don't know, but they think they're going to be able to do better in business when this happens. These people are praying. They're quite vocal in their prayers, and man, they show a lot of enthusiasm. But here's one man that's just slain in the spirit, laying on the ground. I told him, I said, you know, God's Spirit doesn't put you on the ground. It always lifts you up. There's just one experience in the Bible where it put them on the ground. That's when the soldiers came to Jesus, and he said, I am he, and they fell backwards on the ground. But the Spirit always lifts up people, not put them on the ground. You never know how many people are at these things. There's people around, and houses and businesses. But there's this little town. It's just a village. And we did get 30 people, and there were more coming in the last I heard. But it's a good deal. Most of these people are Catholics in Africa in these various villages. A lot of kids. This is Jerry's boy, the man that was interpreting for me. He acted like I've known him all my life, you know. He's known me all of his life. He just got right up in my chair. He said, when is my white man coming back? That's him and his boy. Am I in anybody's way here? That's his family. Jerry's a good man. He's got a magazine they call Bible Insight. And me and Brother Lloyd have been helping him for quite a few years with his magazine. He puts out maybe a couple a year. $500 is what it takes to print them for a couple of times. But he does a lot of traveling. A lot of people knows him, and he recruits a lot of people for our church. I don't think I'm having a heart attack there. I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's a video. Okay. This is a...
No, I teach that. I teach Jesus and his teachings.
Anybody understand that?
It's Utah. The Catholic Church changed the day of worship some 300 years after Christ was crucified. They were doing it to try to get away from the Jewish people. They were under a lot of persecution then, the Jews, and Christians wanted to separate themselves from the Jews. Christ was a Jew, and he kept the Sabbath day. That's never been changed biblically, despite the church. Anyway, maybe I'll give you more than you want.
Well, as a matter of fact, the Bible is a mystery. It opens to every individual, depending on the level of understanding. I may read it 100 times, and I'll see different things entirely.
Yeah.
You may come in and read it 100 times. You see a lot of things different from what I've seen. So it opens itself to you as your spirit has led you to. And I know that a lot of things were done, especially during the meetings in Constantinople several years ago. A lot of things went wrong with Christendom. A lot of things, teachings we are trying to, they were in a hurry to change a lot of things. Like we know that, for instance, the issue of reincarnation. was mentioned severally in the Bible. Because during the meeting of Constantinople, several years ago, there was an attempt to expunge issues of reincarnation from the Bible entirely. And some people are still teaching there's no reincarnation from the Bible. But when they are still holding the Bible said, Jesus asked the disciples, who do men say I am? And they say you are Elisha, come back. When they say you are Elisha, come back, he's talking about reincarnation. They are saying that it's Elijah that was reincarnated. There are some saying that you are Jesus. So it's a common knowledge within the Jewish religion there that somebody can go and reincarnate. So these are some of the issues that were removed at this point from Christian doctrine in Constantinople. So, like I said, you are welcome to our brother to teach your own beliefs. But what we are saying that whatever you are doing, may the Almighty guide you and direct you. And our own people are open to new knowledge. They are not closed. That's why I said they are open. They've gone to so many places and things like that. So we are open to receive every doctrine that does not go contrary to the will of God. So you are welcome to our brother, and we'll give you the platform to perform.
Thank
You know, and I don't know which church are you representing, or are you just a freelance preacher? A freelance preacher.
Which church do you come from? Which church?
The name of the church.
Church of God Seventh Day.
Seventh-day Adventist.
No, not Seventh Day Adventist. Church of God Seventh Day.
It's a different church.
It's a different church entirely.
The thing we're the same on is the Seventh Day. They have a prophet named Ellen G. White,
Okay.
a woman prophet they believe in. And, she was, frankly, a false prophet. But he said in 1849 in Chicago that people in the room would be there when Jesus comes back. So she's not a true prophet if she says something like that.
The reason that I had that on there, he's the chief of that city, and you know, you have to go down and see him and buy your license to preach or whatever. Anyway, he asked me, he said, well, what are you preaching about? And I don't know what I was saying there, but anyway, I got to talk to him about 45 minutes about our church and what we believe and how we, how we preach. What I was preaching about was Sunday and how the Catholic Church brought it on, the Sabbath. I was preaching about our doctrines, and I don't know what he thought about that. He's a Catholic, so whether he's a strong Catholic or not, I don't know. I don't think any of those people are strong Catholics over there. They don't act like it. I don't know how much faith they have in their churches that they go to, but this man was very interesting to talk to. Can't hear? Well, he told me to put this thing at the side. Anyway, that was a very interesting man. I meet a king in every town we go to, but never meet one that wants to know what I'm talking about. Over there in Africa, anybody that wants prayer, they make them kneel on their knees, and I don't like the ideal, but I kept lifting them up, and they kept getting back on their knees. So we were praying for those people. That's in Arabia, same place we went to last year, and we had a lot of people turn out again. Not as good as it was last year. That's the same. This is people on the street that talking to. The people are very, you can walk up and talk to someone pretty easy, initiate a conversation about what they believe and if they believe in God. This is another crusade in Lagos. Lagos was a disappointment we never had a crusade in a big city. This is a city of 21 million people, and they were just not interested at all. They'd just walk by the pedestal and not even look up. They were very, very indifferent. Just a few people. We did get 6 people out of the thing that come down and wanted to be baptized. The Bible-based Christianity, I preach the same thing there, getting back to what the Bible teaches instead of the traditions of men. You know, you have some very, very good scripture in the Bible that tells you that God will not listen to the commandments of men. Matthew 15 is one I used an awful lot. Whoops. That's a church there in Lagos. They have a pretty good sized church there. Why am I having to push this thing so much? That's already in. Okay, this is still in Lagos. I was teaching them how to fix me some French toast here. Got a couple of eggs, and we put a little butter in there and had some French toast. They didn't know how to make it. This is the Sewing Center, the children's home in Mandapeta. It's an orphanage that Brother Spurgey runs over there. They have about 20 people around there. Oh, there again. Everywhere you go in India, they're going to put one of these things around your neck. It's just a welcome. They're welcoming you. We visited 20 churches over there. I had to go through that every time. Some of them, 3 or 4, and that gets kind of heavy. These are their temples over there, the gods that they worship. There's a lot of temples that, and a lot of money spent on them, evidently, by the way they look. You know, they're huge. Different, I don't know who he is, but those are the Hindu gods. If you look in their audience, you'll see mostly women. I bet the churches are at least 90% women over there, and I don't know why. I asked the women, couldn't they get their husbands in line, but they just laughed about that. Maybe it's because that men are more visual and they like to worship these gods that they can see. But the women, they outnumber the men quite a bit. A lot of children. There are more of those, I don't know what they call them, but it's big in India. Those are carnations. They have crosses in their church. I talked to them about that. Some of the churches I went to had statues. Talked to them about that. There's that statue. I don't know what the name of that town is. That was where your friend is. Yeah. They had a big statue of Christ and pictures too. That's Spurgey and J. Amana or something. Okay. That was on a Sunday we visited that church, and we didn't know they were having a church meeting. We just went up to visit her. Because our time was really hard to see everything I needed to see. So we just took off on Sunday, the only day we could get away. This is a big temple where this is a Catholic church. They have a lot of statues in this place. It's just amazing, of Christ and Mary and Peter. These are some Bibles we give away. We bought 300 Bibles while we was over there and handed them out at $3 a piece.
Were they in their language?
Yes, $3 a piece. They were in their language, and Matthew 28:1 read a lot like our King James version. They come up, they want prayer for their children. The women dress pretty modest, but they all wear those halters at the top, and they got a wrap they put around the top of them, and sometimes it's not so modest. But they all sit on the floor. There's no chairs in their churches. They eat on the floor. They eat with their hands, which is interesting. I got them to get me a fork. This is a children's meal at the orphanage.
Well, if we eat like this in America, we could save a lot of money on washing the dishes. No silverware.
Hey, tiene ponrita más. Itu mah. Dan sisi. Dah kerap pilih.
This is children outside. That's the orphanage on the side of it.
Is Spurgeon, does he still have a lot of blind children there?
A lot of what?
Blind children?
No, I don't think so. I didn't see any anyway. That's a little volleyball, or not volleyball. What's that other one? It's smaller than volleyball. The kids got me to play a little bit of that, but I didn't do too good. More Bibles. We give church Bibles away at 20 churches, and they were really happy to get them. They got 40 more churches over there that we give an average of 20 Bibles away to every church. So if we visit all 40 churches, that's how many Bibles we'll need.
Is that 40 churches in the conference, or
It's just 40 Sabbath keeping churches. These churches don't belong to conference or council. Oh, they pulled me out of the church one day and told me I'm not supposed to be preaching there. So what did I do? I went back inside and started preaching again. But they left. We were supposed to go down there, and we went down there, but those two officers didn't show up, so they just told us to go back home. They were pretty friendly. Well, I pushed this thing 2 or 3 times, and these are just coming by wanting to shake my hand. They want every church I go to, they want me to pray for every one of them, but I can't do that. So I usually pray for just the whole group, and then they want to come by and shake hands. We give one of these away. That's a portable, what did you call it? PA system, right? And a lot of the places that Spurgey goes to, that they don't have power, so that works real good. More Bibles. The Hindu people are friendly. They're not real friendly at first. You've got to know them and talk to them a few days, but they will talk to you. We went down and got coffee every day, and a Hindu served us the coffee, and after about 3 days, he started smiling at me. I don't know. It's probably because I was buying his coffee. This church is on top of the house, and all the houses over there are built kind of like with a big area on top, balcony, and they just put a roof on their balcony, made a church out of it. This is their rice fields. They have a lot of rice over there. All the time I was over there, they had these tractors with the rice pulling trailers, and it's all manual. They cut it by hand, they bring it in and shake out the rice, and then they scoop it up and put it in the bags and haul it off. They must plant their rice at different times of the year to keep up with the harvest. This is a banana leaf that they're eating off of here. I got mine in a bowl. But it's they all eat with their right hand. They say it's an insult if you shake hands with somebody with your left hand over there. That's a meeting we had with the 60 pastors. They were all taking down notes, very interested in what was being said. I taught doctrines of our church there about the statues and the pictures and the crosses, and the Sabbath day, and 3 days and 3 nights, just a lot of our doctrines that they didn't know. They need a lot of help over there. These people have come out of Hinduism, but they still don't know the doctrines of our churches, and they just need a lot of help. Well, I punched it twice. They're there praying. You see a lot of them wear white. I don't know if they get that from the Catholic Church or where, but I think the ministers have to wear white. The pictures outside. I don't think I could make it worshiping like that on my knees. We have it pretty easy over here at church with chairs or benches. Of course, that's part of their culture. I guess they get used to it. Some of the older people, I saw them sitting in chairs. Yeah. There's more of the, I was playing games with some kind of game, try to get it in the corners. kids are very, very loving kids. Well, I'm leaving there. This is the train station. Well, they have a huge railway, I guess, over in India. While we were waiting there for our train, there was about 4 trains come by, and they go by. They don't slow down. I don't know how fast they're going. It looks like 100 miles an hour, but they really do move. This is the end of my trip here, just about. We're in Dobie, however you pronounce it. I don't know if that's the tallest building in the world back there or not, but this is by the airport. I don't know if you can see it by the airport or not, but they tell me it's empty. They just built a building to be the tallest in the world and run out of money. This is their airport. Boy, it's a huge airport. A lot of shops. It's about 4 stories high. They didn't get any of my money, though. I'd already spent it all. I don't know if those are real palm trees or fake. They look like real ones. That's the end. Any questions?
Did you understand that? Even that gentleman that was on your video talking English, I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah. They were talking English, but they talk a different kind of English. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. That's why I was asking Jerry, what's he saying? And I got bad ears anyway, so well, it's hard for me to understand them.
You said in Africa that most of them are just kind of inattentive to you, but are they mostly nominal Christians? Do they
Well,
claim Christianity? There's not the idol worship that there is in India.
right. Yeah. And I don't know. In Africa, I was talking about that one city was predominantly Catholic. We had about that church. We went there last year, and now we've got about 50 people in the church. And that's just what they told me. They really the Catholics. They don't know all the everything about the Catholic Church. Right. Yeah. The Catholics have done a lot of good in the world. I mean, they've built buildings, hospitals. They've done a lot of good things. So we got to give them credit for that, even if they have spread a lot of close your ears, John. Spread a lot of bad doctrine. Any more questions?
Who had better coffee, Africa or India?
Hmm?
Who had better coffee, Africa or India?
Oh, India. I don't drink anything but instant coffee in Africa. But I don't know what kind of coffee it was, but in India, it's wonderful coffee. They take it and go back and forth, get it piping hot. It's boiling when they give it to you, and boy, it's good.
I'll take Nina next time.
Well, she wouldn't like it unless it was Folgers. Folgers is the best coffee in the world. It is for a fact.
Sonny, who housed you this time? Did you stay in hotels or did you stay with some?
I always stay in with the people.
I know last year you had mentioned something about the housing and the people that you stayed with and whatnot. Was it good this time too? Or totally different?
Well, in India, it's a lot better. I stayed at a place that had running water and a bathroom.
Didn't have to chase the chickens out.
No, didn't have to kick any chickens out.
Last year you showed us a picture and like all the sewage like went into the
Yeah,
field right
yeah. That's Africa. And it's the same way in India, but not as bad. Yeah, their cities are cleaner in India from what I've seen. Of course, they have a lot of stuff piled up too.
Now, how far was Jangareddy Udom from where clergy lives?
That's a good question.
A long way?
Yeah, 3-hour drive. But that doesn't tell us how far it is, because some places you can drive pretty fast and most places you drive pretty slow. Yeah, it might have been an hour drive here. Yeah. Well, that's funny you ask that. I never got so tired of rice in India in my life. Now in Africa, it's more of a variety of food. But in India, it's rice and rice and rice and more rice. They can cook rice about 20 different ways. And they make good rice pancakes.
On that note, Sonny, we have some friends that are mission. When they went over to India, they said if you go to a restaurant, they serve a big bowl of food for the whole table and everybody eats out of
Yeah.
the same bowl of food. Was it like that?
Yeah. I didn't.
My husband said,
They eat with their hands too.
did you ask for your own bowl?
Yeah. I got my bowl. But they, I guess they're a little cleaner than Africa, for the most part. I guess because they have running water, good water. They drink the water over there that comes out of the faucet, which you can't do in Africa.
Is that where Samaritan Purse is drilling those wells? You know how you can donate money for those wells?
They drill a lot of them. Yeah. But not near enough in Africa. They just have the dirtiest water. Becca?
Do they start exactly on time and end an hour later, or?
Well, they don't worry about time. Both places, they do what they want to do, and if it takes all day, that's fine. Because the longest time I had in a church in India was 6 hours. Yeah. Bugs? No, I think they must eat them. I haven't seen many bugs in the cities. They have a lot of lizards. A lot of lizards.
Sonny, how far did most of them have to travel to come and pray, and have church?
Well, it depends. Some of them walk 2 or 3 hours to church, especially in India.
They had to put forth quite a bit of effort just to
Yeah,
get there to be a part.
that's why they don't care if they spend all day. They have to walk maybe a couple of hours to get there.
Did you notice a lot of jealousy between the ministers there in India?
No,
No?
not talking to them, with 60 at a time. I didn't.
That's something we had to contend with.
Yeah. It's hard to say, you're just talking to them, they're preaching to them, they're asking you a lot of questions and not really thinking about money or anything. Yeah. When people get to thinking about that money and who's going to get it, I guess that's when they start backbiting each other. But I didn't have any to give to them. I give them Bibles. Any more questions? Well, it was a good trip. I had more problems this trip than I ever did, but my health didn't improve as much as I thought it would. But when I was teaching and preaching, I could do it without hurting. I don't know. Go home and hurt later. And I had a lot of scripture the Lord gave me just on no notice. I didn't know I knew so much scripture until you start preaching. Like Vernon down there, he says, "Where's that many mansions?" I said, "John 14." I didn't know that. Somebody give it to me. Any more questions? Well, they need help. We need to pray for them in India and Africa. Don't forget our brothers and sisters all over the world that are having troubles.
When you're over there in Africa, was Ebola ever talked about or anything at the Horn of Africa where you were at?
No. I didn't see.
I'm worried about it.
Well, when I left, they asked me who if I had been anyone with Ebola, but they were declared Ebola free when I left, before I left, a day or so before. That means they hadn't had a new case of Ebola for 42 days. So, but when I went to India, getting into that country, I had to fill out a form a mile long telling them I didn't have Ebola, didn't see anyone with Ebola, didn't know anyone with Ebola. So I didn't dare tell them that my friend got typhoid and had fever, and I just skipped that. Been around anybody sick? No. So anyway, thank you. Remember to pray for our brother.